very special Shabbos just ahead of us. Why is this Shabbos so special when every Shabbos is very, very, very special? I always hold that every Shabbos needs to be the best Shabbos of our lives. Because it's not going to repeat anyways, and we're given the opportunity to use the Shabbat for the connection. The Shabbos is the connection with Hashem. I cannot ignore the fact that many Shabbosim, some Shabbosim, are not the perfect Shabbosim that we would wish ourselves to have. Some Shabbosim are hard to cope with. Depends how you get into it.
Could you please ask Alan Cronick to mute?
What's going to happen after?
Rabbi, could you ask Alan
Shabbos.
Cronick? Could you mute Alan
Not every
Cronick?
Shabbos is a paradise.
Rabbi,
But
could you ask Alan Cronick to
we
mute
should
because we
pray
can't hear
ahead
you?
of time that we should not waste the Shabbosim on things that are going to take away our attention from connecting and uniting with Hashem, being as happy as could be during Shabbos, not showing any sign of sadness. And this is also a very important method. Rabbi Nachman speaks about it. You should not show, even if your heart is heavy sometimes, well, we have to agree, we have to accept that. But our face should be always shining. We should not show on our face any sign of discomfort. First of all, after the actions, if we're going to play the happy person, it will influence our inner feelings in our head and our hearts. We will become the happy person we are. Yes, we are faking it, but we're going to become those happy people that we want to be. So not show any long face, sad feeling, nothing. That's number one. Number two, everybody who sees us will also be attached, be glued. It's when you're happy, it's like people are getting glued to you. People want to work with happy people. And if you're happy, if you transmit happy feelings, then a lot of people would like to be with you, come closer to you, and they'll see how happy you are. They will give you a reflection of simcha back. And from that reflection, you're going to revive yourself. Okay, so it's a very clear, beautiful concept. You play the happy face. You fake the happy face. You give a big shmeichel, a big smile to everybody you see, even though you're aching, you're sobering inside. You can be aching but smiling. You smile to the person. You give him a hug. You say, "Good Shabbos," just like that. Oh, the guy wakes up because he himself might be in the same position as you are, but you have shook him up. So he wakes up, says, "Hey, good Shabbos." He gives you a great smile because you have squeezed the smile from the guy. So you after he gave you his smile, you're gonna be enlightened again because you got a smile from. It's like a chain reaction, which will influence your whole Shabbos. So therefore, we have to show the good face. That's Rabbi Nachman's advice for sure. So this Shabbos is quite an exceptional Shabbos because it is Shabbos after Chanukah. In Yiddish, there's an expression every Shabbos after the Yomim Tovim or after the festivals, after an event, after a Yom Tov or anything like that. We call in Yiddish Shabbos noch Yom Tov. Noch means after. Shabbos noch Chanukah. That's where we hold. We had the Sunday, Monday, beautiful days of Chanukah, Monday was Zot Chanukah, the bigger inspiration of the Chanukah, the greatest, the highest of the highest of Chanukah. And check out last week's newsletter where all the midos are listed so beautifully, one after the other, 13 midos, 13 attributes of mercy that plays a very important role in the days of Chanukah. So Shabbos Noch Chanukah means Shabbos after Chanukah, but in Yiddish the word Noch also means more. So that's what, now let's check the situation. Is Shabbos Noch Chanukah, Shabbos after Chanukah is Shabbos more Chanukah. That Chanukah is, the Chanukah is reflecting into the Shabbos. So Shabbos still have a great reflection of Chanukah. And this is one case, the Shabbat after the holiday. We do have the same thing on Shabbat before the holiday. Shabbat before Chanukah, let's take last Shabbos, when we were not Chanukah yet, was Shabbos, and then Sunday night was first candle. Remember? Last Sunday was last was first candle. So Shabbos before Chanukah is also containing the light of the Yom Tov, the light of the Chanukah, or any other Yom Tov which falls during the following week. So it's a win-win situation. We get pleasure. We draw kedusha from the event, from the Yom Tov before the Yom Tov during Shabbos, and we draw pleasure from the Yom Tov after Yom Tov, the Shabbos next to it. So we are millionaires. If you just have to live, if we would just live our life according to the Jewish calendar, you will see every month, every day, every week as something special, something you don't want to miss on. Either it's Shabbos Chazak, that the inspiration of the Chazak is going to be next Shabbos, not this Shabbat Miketz. Shabbos Vayechi is going to be Shabbos Chazak when we're going to conclude the Sefer Bereshis. And then it's again, there's a lot of power in the Shabbos Chazak. We can gain Ahavas Torah, love for Torah. We can gain a connection with the Torah. The Shabbos Chazak, the Shabbos No Chanukah. Last Shabbos was Shabbos before Chanukah. It's like an endless Gan Eden, an endless paradise. If you wish to live your life as a Yid, as a Jew, attaching oneself to the Yomim Tovim, to the Jewish calendar, you got it. So we are definitely expecting a Shabbos of inspiration, God willing. The weekly parsha of Parshas Vayigash starts with the idea that Yehuda is kind of about to lose everything he has because he promised Yaakov, his father, that he's going to bring Binyamin, their brother, back to Yaakov, and if Yehuda will not bring Binyamin back to Yaakov, which Yaakov have sworn, he made a vow to Yaakov that he's willing to lose all his world to come if he's not going to bring Binyamin back to his father, to Yaakov, who's already aching from the loss of Yosef, who is actually, Yosef now is the king of Mitzrayim, the king of Egypt, facing Yehuda. Yehuda still does not know about Yosef being his lost brother, but Yehuda is preparing for a fight. It's a fight, and Yehuda say, if I'm not going to bring Binyamin, I'm going to wipe Egypt completely. They're going to destroy all the markets, all the fields, all the homes. You better bring us our... So in front of Yehuda stands Yosef, his brother. Can you imagine the interaction between both kings? The Zohar brings down that Vayigash elav Yehuda, when Yehuda approached and came closer to Yosef, this was an interaction of a king with a king. Yehuda is the family that the kingship from David HaMelech will continue to be a king. The kingship, the kingdom, the malchut of Israel is always given only to the king, to the tribe of Yehuda. No other tribe has the permission to be a king over Israel. Only tribe Yehuda. And Yosef, now he's being the king of Mitzrayim, of Egypt. So these two powerful things are coming into an interaction, and you should look up the midrashim. The midrashim will tell you all the conversation that went on between Yehuda and Yosef. The Torah does not talk in length about the interactions, about this, the discussion took place over here, just a part of it, but the midrashim are so beautiful. I really encourage you to go ahead and learn some of the midrashim that will give you the reflection of the parsha itself. A lot of hidden parts are brought down in the midrashim. The midrash actually is kind of will tell you a lot of stories that took place in history. I say it precisely in Jewish history, and we have to be very proud of our Jewish history. I'm a little bothered by the fact that in many schools they learn world history, maybe just as the same amount of time they spend on Jewish history, but we are so rich in our history. And the midrashim, the midrash is a book which is actually the most ancient history book in the world. The most ancient, the oldest history book in the world. And unfortunately, people are not respecting the midrashim enough. But our sages have brought down, have said that if you want to attract someone to Torah, tell them the stories of the Torah. Stories attract the heart of the listener. If you want to attract your children to Yiddishkeit, tell them stories, because Torah and teachings, people are like can't hold it. The mind is fading away, running away. A lot of troubles, a lot of things that bother us, and we're losing our attention when we are not hearing stories. But stories is the interesting things, like action, things that happen. It brings you back to the era, back to the time that these stories took place. Therefore, it's always worthwhile to bring in a story that will attract the ears of the listeners. Same with our children. If you want to teach your children or your grandchildren, as we said before, previous lesson, that the obligation of the grandfather is to teach his grandchild Torah, just like he has that obligation to teach his children Torah. The obligation of Vishinantam Levanecha, you should teach Torah teachings to your children, apply to your grandchildren. So it's a biblical, or it's an obligation. Therefore, you have to insert a story. And the story, like, awaken the attention, story makes it completely. Okay, if we spoke about stories, I can't get away from now not telling a story, right? So I'd like to tell you a story that took place. Actually, we discussed that on our Shabbos table last Shabbos. The story goes about Yosef. Yosef Tzaddik, he come out from jail, and he is literally becoming the king over Egypt. Before he became a king, Paro saw that he was such a gigantic genius solving the dreams. He said, come be a king. But Paro had a whole committee calling out against Yosef to be the king. And they bring Pharaoh the proof that Yosef cannot be the king. They say Yosef is a slave. He was just sold to a slave in the prison. How can you make him a king? So Pharaoh goes to Yosef and says, tell me, I want to make you a king over Egypt, but our rules in Egypt says that a slave cannot come to be a king. So Yosef says, I'm not a slave. I'm a free man. I was kidnapped. I was sold. And my grandmother, you know who's my grandmother? My booby is Sarah. Sarah Imenu. Oh, yes. So says the assembly, the committee of Pharaoh, they have not remembered who Sarah is, but Pharaoh sure remembered who Sarah was. Because when Avram Avinu came down to Egypt years before, Pharaoh took Sarah to be his wife, remember? And Avram was telling that he is Sarah's brother in order for Pharaoh not to kill Avram and take Sarah. So she is his sister. And as a sister, he left Avram alive. But Pharaoh took Sarah for a woman, for a wife. And the angel hit him, and he couldn't have her. Everybody was like, the whole family, the whole royal family could not go to the bathroom for 24 hours because the angel hit them with a special thing, and they couldn't do. They would say, what's going on? So you're taking a wife. Sarah is Avram's wife. You should not take her. But Pharaoh loved Sarah Imenu so much that he had her picture on the wall of his bedroom ever since she left. So, and Yosef knew that. So he tells everybody, go ahead and see the picture in the king's bedroom on the wall. This is Sarah. This is my booby, my grandmother. Check her picture. See how my face resembles her face. I'm proving you by that I'm not a slave. I'm a Ben Chorin, I'm a king, I'm a prince. So they brought down the picture of Sarah, and they saw, wow, there's a perfect resemblance, right? Yosef, Sarah, boom, it's a bingo. So they knew that the Yosef now is not a slave. Now he can be a king over Egypt. Okay, not enough story. And I'll tell you another story that the committee was still fighting for Yosef not to be the king of Egypt. What's the claim now? How can you bring a person who tried to convince the wife of Potiphar to make an avera, to make a sin with him? Because he was in jail because the wife of Potiphar lied and told everybody that Yosef was chasing after her to have her. So they immediately, and she had his garment, and she showed, here you see, he was running away from me. He was coming to me, and I shouted in a big voice, and then he ran away, and I took it. So so the committee are saying, Yosef, you cannot be a king anymore because you're a sinner. So Yosef says, okay, bring it to I want to go to court. I want to go to court to the judge. You have judges over here in Mitzrayim. Take me to court. So they took him to court, and the Kohanim, the priests of Egypt at that time, they were the Beis Din, the courthouse. So they asked, okay, bring the garment that wife of Potiphar was proving from this that she was trying to be abused by Yosef. And they're going to say as follows, let's see the garment. If the garment is torn from the back, that means that Yosef is right, that he was running away and she held him, she chapped his garment, and the garment was torn, and then she had it. But if she is right, then the garment should be torn from the front, because he come to her, and she's screaming and shouting, and he is running away like he's running away, but he's facing her, and by running by this step, running backwards from her, she holds the front of his garment and tear it to pieces, and he is running away. So if wife of Potiphar is right, and he was trying to abuse her, the garment should be torn from the front. But if Yosef is right, and he was running away from her, and she was chasing him, and the garment will show that the garment is torn from the back. So the saw brought the garment, and they practically saw that the garment is torn from the back. From here, a lot of criminal lawyers can learn a lot of a big teaching, a big chokhmah, how to solve a problem, how to solve an issue in court. So that again proves that Yosef was not trying to abuse the wife of Potiphar, and he's a king. He's not a slave, and he got the kingship. He got to be the king over Mitzrayim. So you can see for yourself how much stories attract the heart of the listeners. And I just want to conclude over here with a very special book I want to recommend you to read. This book called Rabbi Nachman's Stories. Rabbi Nachman's Stories is a book which have 13 stories. These stories are unique in their wisdom. You can learn so much wisdom and menschlichkeit and order in life. And they are beautiful stories. You can listen, you can read them easily, attracts the heart, but there's a special significance, a special remedy, a special power hidden, gloomed in Rabbi Nachman's stories. That's the name of the book, Rabbi Nachman's Stories. And this powerful energy, which is gloomed into the stories, are the ability to awake those who listen to those stories. And awake, I don't mean to say that they are going to be awake from like you're sleeping and you just woke up from your sleep, for a night sleep. I'm talking the spiritual sleep. Many people in our world, include us, every now and again, we coming to have days which we are not in focus. We are like daydreaming. We are fuzzled. We're not clear in our vision. We're not powerful. We're not. We kind of schwach. You don't feel energetic in the presence of other people. You might not feel energetic in your work, in your whatever you do with your family. You see, like you're kind of sleeping your life away. That's the expression. So in order for us not to sleep our life away, there is a special awakening that we have to consider taking. It's like energy pills. And the stories that Rabbi Nachman told are those with a special remedy, special power to keep you, the reader of those stories, or the listener of those stories, to keep you awake in a manner that you are emotionally, psychologically, you're awake, you are tuned, you're sharp, you're tuned right to you're focused. And that's the segula that the stories have. So, okay, I want to say again, good Shabbos to all of you. Thank you for coming. It was a pleasure again to be with you. And we'll see you, God willing, next week. Shabbos Chazak. Shabbos, everyone.
Good Shabbos.
Shabbos, Rabbi. Thank you so much.
Shabbos, pleasure to be. Thank you. Thank you for coming.
Shabbos, Brian.
David, thank you for everything. Shabbos.
Thank you.
Beautiful. Thank you, Hashem, for the opportunity. Yes.